Hi, I'm Teresa Chang.
Hi, I'm Marianne McCara.
Hi, I'm Felicia Grant Cummings.
Hi, I'm Kim Johnson with Moms Navigating Autism.
Hi, welcome to Moms Navigating Autism. I'm Kim Johnson.
Hi, I'm Marianne McCara.
I'm Teresa Chang. Today's topic, we're going to talk about transitioning into summer. Some people send their kids to camps, and there are camps that are out there that are just for special needs, but there's also camps that are out there that are inclusive. They have some neurotypical kids, and they take some high functioning kids on the spectrum, other kids with disabilities. If you're like me, where I worry because everything's a transition for my child. So if my child's going in, there's a transition to meeting new kids, there's a transition to meeting new staff, there's a transition to figuring out how he's going to make friendships. It's all a transition, the new place, the setting, everything. So what I used to do is I would sign him up for a 2-week camp. And during those 2 weeks, my son was the one who would wander around and see and explore and see how much trouble he could get himself into. It's my son. Essentially, they would figure things out, and they would find somebody to hang out with him or something. But his big thing was being accepted, and he didn't know how to be accepted. So he would try different things, and a lot of times he was annoying another kid or something. Find out all about the placement, and definitely check with other parents because they're good resources. Have they ever put their kids there? What have they heard? Has anybody ever heard anything about it? Ask at special moms groups. I'm sure somebody has heard of the program, but definitely do your research. I know that there are some kids that are more fragile, and the parents usually, they go through 12-month programs, but there's always those 2 weeks at the end of the summer that everybody takes off, and that's a transition too. It's a break from everyday life. So I don't know. Let me see if one of you two, have you ever dealt with that?
Our son had extended year services. So
Similar.
he never really had a camp experience. And typically during the 2 weeks that he'd be off, I would try and see if I could get additional help within the home, additional, reshab or respite. Because I also had my 2 younger boys home at the same time. And when my oldest son was home, that would mean a lot of the times, from practically speaking, was that, I would not leave the house. Now that my 2 younger boys are older, they're more able to go places and do what they want to do. When they were all a lot smaller, we'd all basically just be here in the house. So I would have to think of things for all of them to do. And then I would also hope that the aide would show up, because that could also be an issue, because we had a lot of turnover with aides to begin with.
Right.
And so getting someone to reliably come for him could be a big challenge.
Like I said, you got to do your research. You got to look, ask people. The best is word of mouth. If somebody tells you, they rave about it, talk to people and see if it's a good fit, because sometimes it's also personality matches, not just on a neurotypical level, but on a autism level. It's the personality matches. It's the, whether they're a good personality match with the adults, whether they're a good personality match with the kids. You want to put your child in a situation where they're going to thrive. So, but I say you have to really do your research and you really have to ask people. There's enough special needs groups out there. Talk, that's very important.
Now, would your son report back to you and say, I really liked going to this place, or I really didn't like this activity, or I like this group of people, but I don't like this person? Were there
Okay.
particular things that he liked and disliked about these experiences?
Okay.
Sort of take away.
Since my son was small, I would drop him off at the sitter's house, and I knew exactly what went on at the sitter's house because he would get in the car and he would start talking word for word. Everything that was said from the time he arrived there to the time he left there. It was, and it's very, because he's got a photographic memory, he will tell you everything down to the last detail. And it's, you have to remember, when you're on the spectrum, you're not looking at the entire picture. You are looking at, details. And he would tell me everything from the beginning to the end. I've had some babysitters that would get annoyed with him because I knew exactly, I knew that one babysitter had about 30 or 40 kids after school, besides us 5 kids, and she wasn't really watching our 5 kids because
rather a lot of children to be responsible for.
Right. So she had an after school group that would come in, and my son would sit there and name every single one of them, and I would start counting, and that's how I found out that she had all these after school kids. And so, but that was the thing about my son. He would tell me word for word, everything that was said, but it wasn't even like he was telling me. He was just reliving the day in his mind, and it was coming out verbally, and I would listen and I'd be like, wait a minute,
I remember being very grateful for the extended year program because, especially at Hawthorne, they had a pool, and Aiden really enjoyed spending time in the pool.
Yes.
But with a child who's nonverbal, a lot of times you have to rely on the notes that are sent home. Your child enjoyed this. Your child did not enjoy that. Your child took this other child's food at lunchtime. So you're really depending on other adults to tell you what's going on.
Right.
Sometimes it feels a little less than satisfactory. And, I would find myself wondering, well, what really went on?
Right.
Yeah.
See, well, with me, my son would just tell me. And I would be like, no, I know. If I didn't have that, I would be wondering, myself. What about you, Kim?
Well, same kind of experience. Over the years, it changed. They try to make it more like a camp experience where he went, because it was more laid back. It wasn't as much school as it was to have fun, whether it was playing with water things outside. At one point, they used to take them to the pool in White Plains. And there was actually an incident, and I didn't hear about it till after the fact, where my son fell in the pool because he went to get his video player, and his 1-1 aide just turned her back for a second. I know it wasn't her fault, but as moms, Marianne, when our children can't talk, we worry at all times.
Yeah.
Because they can't tell you. And they didn't find out till afterwards he fell in the pool, and the lifeguards had to jump in and get him. And after that, in order for us to let him go, I was always nervous. He wasn't allowed to go without a life jacket on. I didn't care. He had to have a life jacket on. So like things like that worry me when he's in other people's care. Like it makes me nervous, the pool and the outings and the things, because he's nonverbal, not steady on his feet. He may have a behavior. So things like that always worry me with him. But like the summer session, like I said, was meant to be more fun and laid back than regular school season, and it's a 6-week program. Usually they're off 2 weeks in the beginning and 3 weeks at the end. So to fill that space in, he would have ComHab respite come in for those times. But I would always plan my vacation the end of August, because that goes into like my birthday, the beginning of school, the holidays right there. So I would always take off that last week also. So that would be our vacation time, where we've gone to Florida, we've gone to Connecticut, we've done different things. So I also try to plan vacation also, so it wasn't all school, all stay at home. at least we got out and did things, like this year, COVID, still things weren't that great, so we didn't travel.
I know.
But, we went out to different places and just the two of us had lunch. We had lunch down at the riverfront with my niece and her kids. Every day we did something different, whether it was going shopping for back to school. Every day he was out and did something. Okay, it's not activities, but he's a low key kind of hang out with you while you shop kind of kid. So I was able to go out and shop. He was in his wheelchair and had his video player, and he was good. He just wanted to be out, and that's at the point where he is now. Even he just wants to get out of the house. Sometimes it doesn't matter what it is. It could be a ride in the car. It could be McDonald's. It could be something so simple. But he's easily entertained that way. But
No.
but no camp experience or anything like that. Like I said, the summer they try to make it like that and make it their own little mini camp. Because not only that, the program used to take not just the kids that were in the class, they used to get other kids also from programs like the push-in or regular school districts that didn't have summer programs. They would come to BOCES campus also. So if they had an extended school year, they also came there. So it was more kids. It was kids that normally weren't on the campus. So they try to make an experience of like color wars. Like every year it was something different depending on who the principal was or anything like that. So
it's a transition. All of it. It's a transition. Even if it's something small, it's a transition for them.
I remember at Hawthorne during the summers, they used to have what they called a family fun day, where all of the families would come on a Saturday and the pool would be open and there'd be sprinklers and they'd have a cookout and, parents would be there and siblings. And it was a really fun day. It was always in the summer. And so that's something I really look forward to every year. Not only just to have the time with my husband and our kids, but also to meet the other parents.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
There is a special needs camp. The camp has got a lot of good ratings, and I hear it's a very good camp.
How expensive is it? Do you know? And do they have any scholarship?
I believe they do have scholarships, but it was expensive. It wasn't cheap, but they do. I believe they do have scholarships because it's special needs. They have a big amount of emotionally disturbed kids, and because it was small at the beginning, they were putting them all in together. But now it's gotten bigger and more known. So they are, from what I understand from someone else, they have split it now. So you've got your group of kids with autism, and they're not intermingling with the other kids. But it is sleepaway camp.
Do they have house mothers who keep an eye on the children overnight?
They have camp counselors from the colleges, the kids that are studying special education and things like that. They have camp counselors from there.
Every year as summer approaches, I recall that in my email, I will get an email from WJCS, Westchester Community Services, and they will have a long list of lots of summer programs. So I would advise anyone who has a child with special needs to get on the WJCS mailing list so that you can receive that listing of all the summer programs. They might not all be a good fit for your child, but it's good to be aware of them. And, even if, it's not maybe good for your child, maybe someone whose child, a certain program might be good for it. You can pass the information on to them. We had hours for Reshab and respite, and that became very challenging to just find staff to do the hours with him. At one point,
that was through an agency.
We worked through so many different agencies, and I think at one point he had 38 hours. It was combined Reshab and respite, and trying to get those 38 hours filled it became like almost a full-time job for me to try to find somebody who could do it. And then we'd get somebody, and then they'd last for maybe a few days, and then they'd start to develop car trouble, and then they wouldn't show up. So we had a lot of turnover with aides, which was disruptive for our household, and it was disruptive for our son as well.
transition.
Yeah, you have to find a right fit, that's a hard thing. I mean, I've been blessed on that end that I've been able to find people that lasted. I mean, there was some that didn't last, but for the majority, we've had the same people for a long time. So, and we've had a great team. So, and that's hard. And again, I take what I can get. So it may not be the 38 hours. I take what I can get because I trust. If you remember, you're leaving your house, you're leaving your child with them, you're leaving your whole household. Your life isn't so private anymore either. So if you're not leaving the house, every conversation that you have around these people, I mean, they become your
Right.
family at a point, and it has to be somebody that's good with your child, somebody you can trust, reliable, because you just said, car trouble and didn't come back. I mean, they had to be somebody you depend on. Like I depend on that person sometimes to go to work. So it has to be a reliable, dependable person because the fact of me going to work depends on that person showing up. So it's a lot. And
No,
then
it
there's some
is.
people I hear sometimes, oh, we have somebody, she's here every day after school, and she takes my child here. It's like, but that's the other thing. I also want to find time to be with my son also. I mean, I
Yeah.
don't want somebody all the time. I don't need somebody to be here when I wake up and shower him when I'm still want to be in pajamas either. So it's kind of like, I don't know. It works the way I have it now. So.
Yeah. Well, you're actually doing pretty good. From what I can tell at your house, you're actually doing pretty good with, juggling things with him. And
Yeah, I can't wait to use my respite for respite. I'm in the need of that right now because we don't have a Dayhab. All of it's being used so that I can get into the office a few days a week. So it's not like I'm going out with the girls for dinner or going to a movie or anything like that. I mean, I do get to get my nails done once every couple of weeks. So that's good. I get to go food shopping. That's my respite Hab. I don't know, but I eventually want to use it for what it's meant to be also. And I also want to start working on my son using his Hab with somebody to actually go out and do a few things too. So that's another thing I want to work on. So I have things to work on still. We're getting there.
you're so funny. Yeah, no.
Wait, I mean, that's something to also talk about, like even summer programs, like if somebody isn't in, like, there's special needs children that don't go a 12-month school year, that don't go to a camp. What are the parents like? What are the parents doing with them then? Do they have Hab? Do they have respite? Are they getting to get out once in a while, even if it's not a camp, even if it's bowling with a couple of peers or like these social groups or something like that? So
Right. I know a few people with kids like yours, and they're older now. So, a lot of them have put them into residential placements.
okay.
So they go visit them.
And like Dayhab is all year round. Like it's not spring break, midwinter recess, Christmas break. They have holidays off. It's kind of like we do going to a job. They go there Monday through Friday, except for holidays. So when he eventually goes to one of those programs, he'll have that every day. So it's not summer, regular year. It'll be all year round type of thing, not spring break. So it's kind of like we can go on vacation when we want now. It doesn't have to be the end of August.
I found that very interesting, because I didn't even know that when you put your child in Dayhab, they can go for half a day, they can go for a full day, they don't have to go every day, they can go certain days. I found that very interesting, and I don't think a lot of people know that unless they're experiencing it themselves.
Right, and that's kind of like starting it out. Do we go every day? Do we go a couple days? My son went for a trial day Monday on his own from 9:30 to 2 by himself. Even at 22, I felt like crying when I walked out the door because it's nerve-wracking. He doesn't have a one-to-one aide. There's only 2 staff members for all the individuals in the room, and all these programs are so short-staffed right now. So, my son's needs are very high. He's, in diapers. He doesn't walk well. He doesn't know stairs, fear, dangerous situations. So, and I'm just meeting these people for the first time. So it was a lot to walk out on Monday. She assured me he was gonna be fine. I went back, she said he had a great day. He actually chose the teacher's desk to sit this day. All the other days he sat at tables with other people. He decided he's gonna sit at the teacher's desk Monday. So he goes back again tomorrow, and we'll see what happens tomorrow. So tomorrow he's gonna go independently also as a trial, and we'll see what happens.
So actually, this is very interesting because you going through this looking for a Dayhab situation. It's very interesting because I know a lot of school districts will advise parents to just look for a program and put them into it. But you were actually very smart about it. You went, you
Well,
looked.
I want to say that I think the programs, that's what they do, because I know when I started looking at Dayhabs, they talked about, well, the first step is he'll come for a week as a trial. I'm
Right.
like, I'm not going to pull him out of school a week to go try a trial. So I'm like, like, this was new to me. I didn't understand the process. And I think this is the process for most of them. So I got to say a trial is
See, that's good
is
to
a
know.
process.
No process, so this way people
Right.
out there can know. So why don't you tell us about the process, because that's good
Don't
to
know
know.
more because this is the first one that we were able to even get in to do. But I think that is the process of most of them. They take you as a trial because they want to make sure that they meet the individual's needs. Will he be able to, he or she be able to handle the program? Can they accommodate that person? Do they have the staff, the right people, with the individual fit? We did trials a few days with someone. I went, his two Dayhab workers went a couple of days with him. So the thing was, we were like the one-to-one aid. So we knew, because we know him well, we know what he wants to do. We want to know when to change the video. We want to know what he eats, when to take him to the restroom. And so the staff was in the room and they involved him, but they didn't know him like we did. And we were like the one-to-one aid. So he went Monday, and they know that's like one of my biggest concerns for him. Like, I don't want him to sit and just exist in the room, no matter where it goes. The staff is very friendly, so it's not an issue with that. I just think that, and this is the situation in most Dayhabs and a lot of these programs, they are so short-staffed. I'm sure with even more staff, they could do so much more. And things are different probably because of COVID. Things look differently. Classrooms stay together more, I think, right now. It's not, I think before they used to be in the cafeteria and everybody would intermingle with each other. I think things look a little bit different now than they would have if I looked earlier at a program.
Mm-hmm.
So as things are changing now, hopefully with some restrictions lifting, a lot of the beginning ones that I called and that I was in contact with, we sent in applications, all the paperwork. We even went there. They've gone ghost since August. We're now in March. Okay.
Wow.
I haven't heard a peep out of them.
Mm.
So they're not, and then you makes you wonder, are they not calling just me? Are they accepting other people? And then when I talk to other care managers I meet and things like that, they're like, oh no, they're not calling people back. Oh, they're not taking, oh, they don't have everybody back. Oh, I have other clients that we're trying to put these places, they're just not calling. So I don't think it's just me and my child. My child's needs are probably more than some of the more independent people, and they probably have better luck getting into a program because their needs aren't as great as my son's.
Right.
Because they don't have the staff. So and you
They're
don't
looking
get
for
a
what's
one-to-one
easy.
aid in Dayhab, so they're going to try to fill it with the people that need a placement that can be more independent. And and I'm starting to think about this a little bit more. As much as I'm nervous and I really want him to have a one-to-one, and I really feel he does, the goal is always to make him as independent as you want. Right. And that's always been the goal in school is, yeah, okay, they send your child out of district, but it's always the goal to bring them back to district.
Back. Right, exactly.
To have, you help them with things they need, that they can be more independent, they'll be able to learn in a regular classroom, and obviously everybody's on different levels. So I have to look at this as, all right, I felt like I was crying when I left there on Monday, but this is, you let your child free, but it's like I worry about whose care he's in is the biggest thing. I think it's more me. I just need to, this is the way of him having some kind of independence a little bit. And, it's different than school. You're not being told match colors, do ABA. As much as I got him where he is now it's a more laid back, oh, we're going to do music today. Oh, we're doing an exercise to the thing. Oh, we're going to walk around the building. I'm going to go out with a couple of my other peers. oh, we're going to be out in the hallway doing something else. It's a totally different environment.
Mhm.
It's an adult environment now. It's not school. So he's probably going to go through a lot of changes and be a little bit more like, but I don't want him to lose skills either. It's just a mix of emotions and things. I can't explain it. It's just, he's 22, you know, he's not 10 in a
No.
classroom anymore. So, you know, I would love eventually the goal to be without walls and be out in the community and stuff. I don't know if that's for him, but I think he just likes to have somewhere to go, have the bus come get him, and then he sees other people. He's not here all day. So that's my biggest thing on doing self-direction or keeping him home opposed to any kind of Dayhab, is that he needs this because he needs to be out. Any engagement with other people is good for him. So
Right. Yeah, and it doesn't matter where on the spectrum they lie. You want to make them as most independent as they can possibly be.
right.
Although it's hard for you. And hey,
But
we're
I
here
think
for
that's
you.
what I need to use. That's what I need, like home ComHab. Now we have to change our thinking. Yeah, you know, she's working with him on eating and toileting and everything like that. But now maybe more even independent. I need to let go. You know, they always say, oh, we're even gonna help him put the dishes away, put the clothes away. We're gonna do some vacuum. I was like, no, that's what I do. That's what I do. Like, you know, so I never let go of that rein. You know, because I'm like, oh, it's just easier if I do it. You know, so
Oh, I know. I
Yeah.
get stuck in that.
he needs it. I'm not always gonna be here, and you
I
know,
know.
you know, like Felicia was talking about that person that she knew that said, you know, at some point they had to let go and let that individual go into a group home because when they were older, it'd be even more devastating, I guess.
Mhm.
And I never ever thought of it like that because right now this is what I want for the both of us, and you know, there's just the two of us, so. You know, I don't have other children. I don't have a spouse or anything. So, you know, but that made me think a little bit about that, you know. So Dayhab is a step in that direction for him, that independence
Right.
for him.
Mhm.
So, and that's how I'm looking at this now, like with a different look. But I think that's why it's talking to a lot of people, being on this platform, hearing what she said.
Right.
Okay, it's time for me to let go a little bit too. He's not a baby either. So
Right. You want to make him as much independent as possible. There comes a time that we have to realize that we're not living forever. And
yeah.
so we
It's just a sad, gloomy reality, and I hate to. I think that's my biggest problem is I know that, but you know,
no, I know.
just keep putting it. Yeah. Talk about another day.
If you know someone who is a totally awesome autism mom or dad, let us know about them. April is Autism Awareness Month, and we want to showcase these special moms or dads. That parent may be one that makes everything look easy, or one that goes through so much and needs some recognition. Send us a message to awesomeparents2022@momsnavigatingautism.com. Send us information on that parent and why you think he or she should be named 2022 Moms Navigating Autism Awesome Parent.
Thank you to Altice for providing us with this platform.
And we want to remind everybody that we are mothers. We're not professionals. We're sharing our experiences so that we can help you with your autism child.
Follow us on social media. Don't forget to follow, like, and subscribe.